Hey guys, happy Wednesday. So I am going to show you today some two-step equations with rational numbers. Now remember, rational numbers, all that means is today I'm going to throw in some fractions and decimals. Good news is really with decimals, there shouldn't be any issues knowing what to do because we're going to use that calculator. In years past, it's really just doing the by hand calculations that's always given kids some trouble. So I've got one fraction problem in here to remind you guys of what to do when you see a fraction coefficient, but that's really it. It's today is all about just taking our time, buckle down, and get through those, not so nice numbers. So let me share my screen with you. All right. Now I'm actually going to start with, I've got a problem here that I wanted to actually do the other day, but didn't see that on your homework assignment. So I left that off of our notes. So I want to start with actually my number 2, okay? So when I look at this problem, I see the parentheses first, and remember, or I guess I see the parentheses, but your brain should automatically know parentheses first. I want you to continue to trust that instinct. Remember when we combined like terms, whenever you see that parenthesis with a number on the outside, we have to remember to distribute first. So our first step is to always take care of that before anything else goes down. So -5 times 1x is -5x. Then -5 times +3, -15. Okay? And then we're going to continue like normal. Box the variable in its closest operation. I'm going to undo what's outside of the box first. Bring down my -5x. And -5x equals -6. You're already probably getting a little nervous because those don't seem like pretty numbers. And this one's not a whole number answer, so don't be nervous. We're going to divide by -5. Then I want to remind you of some tools here you can use. Remember when we're multiplying or dividing, you can use that kind of circle tool, I think is what we called it from the beginning of the year. A negative and a negative be a positive. So 5 goes into 6 once with 1 out of 5 left over. Or you could obviously grab your calculator and do 6 over 5. I'm going to go ahead and do -6 over -5 just to show you that it does turn out to be the positive 1.2. Remember to switch it, second probability, and it changes it back to the 1 1/5, okay? Remember, the Big Ideas textbook is the only place where it's kind of important what form you type in. I have no preference, okay? All right, so there's a slightly new kind. The only reason that I say new is because it's got the distributive property in there, okay? Awesome. Okay, so I'm actually going to go down to the decimal ones now. It's kind of funny. I'm saving number 1 for last, which is weird because I just wrote these out. I could have rearranged, but on the fly. So I want to start with something that looks like this. I gave a worksheet out to my kids in class that you guys didn't get a chance to do, but there was a question like this, which tended to confuse some kids. So I want to look at that with you. So the first thing I'm going to do is box the variable in its closest operation. What you need to remember is there is that invisible 1 in there, right? So I think the struggle was just what do I box? What do I do, right? So I'm going to undo what's outside of the box first. The plus 2.6. So -1x equals 16.6, right? To get that -1 away, I'm going to divide by -1 on both sides. There we go. Okay, so just don't be weirded out if you see one like that. That's why we're doing that now. Okay, I'm going to box this one up top too, just because they need to match or it'll bother me. You guys know me by now, right? Okay. All right. So looking at this one, this is another one where I just haven't shown you one like this yet. So where we've seen this before is if I were to cover up that equals 12, if I asked you just to combine the like terms, this could have been way before Christmas break. You guys would have told me, I can do that. This one has an X, that one has an X. There's an invisible 1. And 1.4x plus another X would be 2.4x, right? And then we just throw on that equals 12. We're not really going to see many of these until we get to multi-step equations. I have seen these sprinkled throughout your textbook, and I thought might as well show them. I know you guys can handle it. So combine like terms, and now we just proceed like normal. So I'm going to divide by 2.4. And it's definitely not one I can do in my head. It's not pretty. Oh, that's funny. It is a pretty answer, just not a pretty process. So 12 divided by 2.4. Okay. Again, using my tool. Okay. So looking at the very first problem. So this is one where I've just got a fraction coefficient that I need to take care of, right? That's what goes in the box. They are attached to each other. And then I'm going to do the opposite of -4, which is +4. Okay. So I have 2/3 x equals 4. And so remember, when there's a fraction coefficient, your brain may have to go through this process again since it's been a while since we've done it. They're being multiplied on my paper. So I need to divide by 2/3 to make that go away, right? But we technically don't ever divide with a fraction. Sorry, hand in the screen. We flip and multiply by its reciprocal, right? So we're going to flip and multiply. It's 3 halves. Okay. Make sure I'm not even right. Multiply by reciprocal or the flip. Okay. So now I need to do 4 times 3 halves. Now I'm going to show you 2 different ways you can do that. And then that's going to be the last time I show you. You guys know how to work your calculators by now. By hand, I'm going to go ahead and put that over 1. I'm going to cross cancel and multiply straight across. I get x equals 6. Another strategy, I'm going to take 3 divided by 2 and turn it into its decimal of 1.5 and then multiply it by 4. I could have technically done that in a different order. I just knew that 3 halves was going to be a decimal. So I could do 4 times parentheses 3 divided by 2, and it would be the same thing. Okay, just make sure that I would put that in parentheses just because some calculators don't follow order of operations if you don't. Okay, now again, is it all new stuff? No, it's not. The numbers are a little bit uglier. I will say your worksheet that you guys will see for your pixel art. Oh, you're not looking at that anymore. The pixel art problems, they're not the loveliest, right? In fact, I may want to do another one like this with you guys really quick before we go. But it just, the numbers aren't pretty. That's all it is. It's just a little bit more difficulty with those numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and solve number 3 for you. I'm going to put it as number 5 on here. And I write pixel because this is a pixel art activity page. When you guys solve the problems, you'll be plugging it in and doing another one of those pictures. So I'm doing the exact problem that you have. Okay. So remember, with a problem like this, if I were to try and figure out what to do first, if you're using the box technique still, I'm going to box this top section and multiply by 3 to make that go away. There we go. So 21 equals a minus 9.2. I'm going to add that 9.2 as its inverse. I do not want to be wrong, since it is your pixel art page. Okay, so 30.2 equals a. This one is that a slightly different form than the basics that you guys did yesterday. Okay. Now I will put this on our digital notebook page. You may see some extra or may have seen that on my notes. I may do some extra with my in-person kids that you guys won't see just to challenge them a little bit, but I will put that in our digital notebook. You'll get to see those too. Okay. I will see you shortly.